Hey growers, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the powerful fall strategies that can genuinely double your yield before winter, even if you think your growing season is almost over. Most gardeners underestimate fall. They see it as the season of cleanup, final harvests, and shutting everything down. But in reality, fall is one of the most productive, opportunity-packed periods of the entire year. The soil is still warm, the sun is gentle, pests are fewer, and plants can focus on root strength instead of battling heat stress. That combination gives you a huge advantage, if you know how to use it. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact methods experienced growers use to stretch their harvests, strengthen their soil, and prepare their gardens for a massive head start next spring. We're talking fast growth crops, frost protection tricks, powerful soil boosting techniques, and harvesting strategies that keep plants producing longer. Whether you're working with a small backyard bed, a balcony setup, a tunnel greenhouse, or a full mini farm, these fall secrets will help you get more food, more flavor, and more resilience out of your garden. So grab your gloves, your notebook, and maybe even a warm drink. Let's jump into the first fall harvest secret and set you up for your best cold season harvest ever. All right, growers, let's start with secret number 1. Plant fast-maturing crops right now. You might think fall is too late to plant, but you'd be surprised how much you can still grow before winter truly sets in. Many cool season vegetables thrive in shorter days and cooler soil temperatures. Think about radishes, spinach, baby carrots, arugula, lettuce, mustard greens, and bok choy. These crops can mature in as little as 25 to 45 days, which means if you plant them now, you can still harvest another full round before the first hard frost. The trick is to choose cold hardy varieties. These plants don't mind chilly nights, and they often develop even sweeter flavors when kissed by frost. For example, spinach and kale actually increase their natural sugars as temperatures drop. It's like nature's built-in antifreeze, and it makes your greens taste amazing. When planting, make sure to prepare the soil lightly. You don't need to dig deep this late in the season. Just loosen the top few inches, mix in a bit of compost, and water thoroughly after sowing. Seeds germinate more slowly in cooler weather, so patience is key. If you don't see sprouts after a week, give them a few more days. They're just taking their time. Now, what about protection? Even a light frost can damage tender seedlings, so here's a simple solution. Use row covers or mini tunnels. These are lightweight fabrics, like garden fleece or spun polypropylene, that trap just enough warmth to raise the temperature underneath by 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That small boost can literally add weeks of extra growing time. If you're gardening in a colder climate, consider building a mini hoop tunnel. You can bend PVC or metal rods into arches over your beds, cover them with plastic or frost fabric, and secure the edges with bricks or clips. It's inexpensive, easy to set up, and makes a huge difference. Urban gardeners, this works for you too. If you've got containers on your patio or balcony, just move them closer to the house wall for warmth, and cover them at night. That reflected heat from the wall helps maintain a microclimate that can extend your growing season well into November or even December. Remember, light is your friend. Position your beds or planters where they'll get maximum sun exposure during these shorter days. Ideally, the south side of your property. Even an extra hour of sunlight can keep your soil temperature up and your crops thriving. And here's a pro tip. Start a succession planting routine. Every 2 weeks, plant a small batch of seeds. This ensures you'll have a continuous harvest rather than one big rush of produce. The goal isn't just to grow more, it's to grow smarter, so your garden keeps producing until the cold truly stops it. Finally, don't forget hydration. Fall winds and cooler air can dry out soil faster than you think, especially under covers. Check moisture levels regularly, and water in the mornings so the leaves dry before nightfall. That helps prevent fungal issues. If you follow these steps, you can easily squeeze in 1, maybe even 2 more harvests before winter sets in, without heating, without expensive equipment, just smart timing and a little protection. So before you pack away your garden tools, give your soil one last round of life. You'll be amazed at how much fresh food you can grow when everyone else thinks the season's over. Now that your fall crops are in the ground, it's time for secret number 2. Feed your soil before it sleeps. Most gardeners don't realize that the real work of next year's harvest starts now, beneath the surface. After months of producing food, your soil is exhausted. It's given away minerals, organic matter, and microbial energy. If you ignore it until spring, you'll start the next season with weak soil that struggles to support strong plants. So here's the truth. The best growers treat their soil like a living system, not a pile of dirt. Before winter, they give it a powerful meal: compost, mulch, and cover crops. Let's start with compost. Adding a layer of mature compost in fall does 2 things. First, it replenishes nutrients that your summer crops used up. Second, winter rain and snow help wash those nutrients deeper into the soil, making them available for roots when spring arrives. Spread 1 to 2 inches of compost over every bed. No need to till it in. Just let nature do the mixing for you. Next up, mulch. Mulching in fall protects soil structure, prevents erosion, and reduces nutrient loss. Use straw, shredded leaves, or wood chips, materials that break down slowly. Over time, they add organic matter and create a cozy blanket for your soil. This layer also shelters beneficial insects and microbes that continue working through winter, quietly enriching the earth for you. If you have a larger space or want to take things to the next level, try cover crops, often called green manure. These are plants like clover, rye, or winter peas that grow during the cooler months and add nitrogen naturally. They keep the soil covered, prevent weeds, and feed the microbial life underground. Come early spring, you simply cut them down and mix them lightly into the top layer. Instant fertilizer. Here's a pro gardener's secret. Mixing compost, mulch, and cover crops together creates a layered protection system. Compost feeds, mulch insulates, and cover crops oxygenate the soil. It's a complete cycle of renewal. No chemicals, no waste, just balance. And don't forget about your garden beds that are done for the year. Don't leave them bare. Bare soil loses nutrients every time it rains, and it can compact during freezing cycles. Even a simple layer of shredded leaves is better than nothing. It's free, effective, and biodegradable. Another overlooked trick is adding biochar or finely crushed charcoal to your soil mix. It helps lock in nutrients, balance moisture, and boost microbial life. Think of it as building the soil's memory, a long-term investment that pays off for years. Finally, water your soil after applying compost or mulch, even if rain is coming. Moisture activates microbial life, the tiny organisms that break down organic matter into plant food. Those microbes keep working all winter, as long as the soil isn't frozen solid. By spring, what you'll find beneath the surface will amaze you. Rich, dark, crumbly earth, full of worms, and ready to grow anything. That's what we mean when we say, feed your soil before it sleeps. Because if you care for the ground now, it will take care of you next season, with stronger roots, faster growth, and bigger yields. All right, growers, time for secret number 3. Extend your season with smart protection. When temperatures start to dip, most people think the growing season is over, but the truth is, with a few smart tricks, you can extend your harvest by weeks or even months. You don't need fancy greenhouses or expensive heaters. A little creativity and planning go a long way. Let's start with the simplest tool, the cold frame. Think of it as a mini greenhouse that sits directly on your garden bed. You can build one in an afternoon using recycled materials, an old window, a few wooden boards and hinges. It traps solar heat during the day, then holds it overnight. Inside, your lettuce, spinach or herbs stay cozy while frost forms outside. Cold frames are perfect for small space gardeners who want to keep harvesting long after the first frost date. If you're already using raised beds, you can turn them into instant season extenders with row covers or low tunnels. These lightweight structures use hoops made of PVC or metal rods covered with frost fabric or clear plastic. They can raise the temperature inside by up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to keep most greens thriving. The trick is to ventilate them on warm days to prevent overheating and condensation. Open the ends during sunny afternoons and close them again before sunset. Now, for those of you lucky enough to have a greenhouse, fall is when that structure really shines. Greenhouses don't just protect from frost, they also balance humidity and allow you to grow delicate crops like tomatoes, herbs and microgreens well into winter. But here's a pro tip. Don't just rely on heat. Manage your airflow. Too much trapped moisture leads to mold and fungal problems. A small fan, a vent, or even leaving the door slightly open for an hour a day can make all the difference. Another powerful strategy is using thermal mass, materials that store heat during the day and release it at night. The easiest example? Water barrels. Place large, dark-colored containers of water inside your greenhouse or near your beds under tunnels. During the day, sunlight warms the water. At night, that stored heat radiates back out, keeping your plants several degrees warmer. Rocks, bricks, or even paving stones can do the same thing on a smaller scale. If your garden is exposed to cold winds, think about creating windbreaks. A simple fence, straw bales, or even a row of tall kale or sunflowers can block icy gusts that steal heat from your beds. Remember, protecting your crops from wind is just as important as protecting them from frost. And here's one more insider trick. Use floating covers directly on the plants. Unlike tunnels, these fabrics rest lightly on top of the crops themselves, trapping warmth right at leaf level. It's a simple, low-cost solution perfect for lettuces, herbs, and root vegetables. You can combine all these methods into layers of defense. A mini tunnel over a bed, plus a floating cover inside, plus thermal mass barrels nearby. Each adds a few degrees of protection, and together they create a powerful microclimate. Even if you live in northern zones, these methods can help you harvest greens, carrots, and herbs well into December. No electricity, no major investment, just smart design. So remember, fall doesn't have to mean the end. It's a chance to experiment, build resilience, and learn how to work with the season instead of against it. When you protect your plants now, you're not only extending your harvest, you're building a self-sustaining system that can feed you nearly year-round. If you've ever dreamed of having fresh greens in the middle of winter, this is where it starts. Smart protection, a few simple materials, and the determination to keep growing when everyone else has given up. That's the magic of fall gardening. Now let's move on to secret number 4. Harvest smart and store right. This is the step that separates a good gardener from a great one. You've worked hard all season. Now it's time to make sure your harvest lasts. Many people think that harvesting is just about picking produce when it looks ready. But timing, technique, and storage conditions all make a massive difference in how long your food stays fresh. First, let's talk about when to harvest. The best time is early morning, when plants are fully hydrated and cool from the night air. This helps preserve their texture, flavor, and nutrients. If you pick during hot afternoons, vegetables lose water quickly, wilt faster, and don't store as long. For leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, and kale, harvest the outer leaves first and leave the inner core intact. This method, called cut and come again, allows the plant to keep growing and producing new leaves for weeks. You get a steady supply of fresh greens instead of one big cut. Root crops like carrots, beets, and radishes can stay in the soil longer. Cool soil actually keeps them fresh. Just make sure to cover them with a layer of straw or mulch to protect against frost. Pull them only when you're ready to eat or store them. Now, for longer-term storage, let's talk about curing. Crops like onions, garlic, potatoes, and winter squash need time to dry before storage. Curing helps toughen their outer skins, seal in moisture, and prevent rot. To do this, spread them in a single layer in a dry, warm, and well-ventilated area for 1 to 2 weeks. You'll know they're ready when the skins feel firm and papery. Once cured, move your produce to a cool, dark place, ideally between 40 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. A basement, root cellar, or even an insulated garage can work perfectly. Keep them in crates, mesh bags, or wooden boxes to allow airflow. Avoid plastic bags. They trap moisture and cause mold. For shorter-term storage, like herbs or greens, use the refrigerator's crisper drawer. Wrap them loosely in a damp towel, or store them upright in a jar with a bit of water, like a bouquet. This helps them stay crisp for days or even weeks. Here's another pro tip. Label everything. Write the harvest date on a tag or tape so you know what to use first. Rotation is key. Older produce should always be eaten before the new batch. If you've got extra, this is also the perfect time to try preserving. Freezing chopped herbs in olive oil, fermenting cabbage into sauerkraut, or drying tomatoes in the oven are simple ways to stretch your harvest into winter. Even a few jars of homemade preserves can make your cold season meals taste like summer. And don't forget to enjoy the process. The smell of curing onions, the sight of neatly stacked squash, the satisfaction of pulling a perfect carrot. These are the rewards for all your hard work. Fall isn't just the end of a season. It's the moment when your effort turns into abundance. So harvest smart, store wisely, and let your garden feed you long after the snow falls. And now for secret number 5. Plan for spring right now. Fall isn't just about harvesting and cleaning up. It's your best opportunity to set up next year's success. Before winter hits, take a few quiet minutes in your garden with a notebook or your phone. Write down what worked and what didn't. Which beds produced best? Which crops struggled? Where did pests show up? And which soil stayed too wet or too dry? These notes are gold. They'll save you time, money, and frustration next spring. Next, think about crop rotation. Don't plant the same vegetables in the same spot year after year. Moving your crops breaks pest cycles and balances nutrients. For example, follow heavy feeders like tomatoes or corn with legumes such as peas or beans. They naturally restore nitrogen to the soil. If you've applied compost or mulch earlier, give it one last check. Turn your compost pile once more before winter to speed up decomposition. A little oxygen now will help it cook through the colder months, giving you rich material ready for planting season. Also, cover any bare soil with leaves, straw, or cardboard to protect it from erosion and frost heaving. You're not just keeping it tidy, you're preventing the loss of valuable topsoil. Finally, take a moment to appreciate what you've built. Look at your garden. Even if it's quiet now, it's full of stored energy waiting for spring. Every seed you planted, every bit of compost you added, every note you take, it all adds up. So don't see fall as the finish line. See it as the reset, the perfect time to prepare, dream, and plan. When you start next season with healthy soil, organized notes, and a clear vision, you'll be miles ahead of where you were this year. Thanks for watching, growers. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up, share it with your gardening friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more growing secrets every week. Until next time, keep your hands dirty and your harvests heavy.